Welcome everybody to another conversation. It's time for a Convo podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Owusu, and tonight joining me for a special conversation is definitely one of my special guests, one of my long time friends. We met in barber school during the pandemic. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But she is representing all of the women entrepreneurs, not just in the Bronx, but definitely globally in the entire world. If you're looking for a contract for haircuts, she your go-to. So you're gonna be able to hook it up. But representing the Bronx, New York, one of the best female barbers in the Bronx, and better than just being a barber and a mentor, she's even an awesome friend. Ladies and gentlemen, I got Ayana, Yannie Welch in the building. Yannie, what's going on? How you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. I'm super pumped.
Thank you.
I'm getting ready to. I'm a little rusty. I haven't been interviewing in a minute, so
you good.
Bear with me.
You good. We're gonna be just fine. So obviously we're gonna talk a little bit about your barber experience. I think it's unique coming from the woman perspective, being that barbering has always been a male dominated field, and as we're getting, into the new age, we're seeing more and more female barbers, enter the stage, and it's looking really good, looking very promising. I feel like some of the some of the women barbers is a little better than some of the males, to be honest. So we'll talk about that a little bit. We'll talk about your teaching experience because you were a former teacher, high school teacher, before you became a full time barber and jumped into a full force. And we in your mobile suite, so we'll get some shots of your mobile suite as well and how you designed it. But I want to start you off with a little question. Give me your top five favorite clipper brands and your top five favorite trimmer brands. Matter of fact, I'll count that to top three. Top three clipper brands, top three trimmer brands.
Honestly, I'm gonna be very simple. I only like one brand,
Okay.
Babyless.
All right. Short and sweet to the point.
Short and sweet to the point. Babyless is a go-to for the clippers and the trimmers and the shavers.
Okay.
They got the clippers and the trimmers where the battery pops out. You could interchange it. Yep. You know what I mean? Yep. It's called some Snap X. I didn't get that yet because I'm like, wait, how much for that? I'm like, hold on, I need to do about 5-6 haircuts before I can do that.
For sure.
But so pretty much for clippers and trimmers, Babyless, anything. I usually like to do like the modified skeleton FX. Those are my favorites, my all-time go-to. We're going to see if they really last the test of time, like, the Andis and the Wolves. Mm-hmm. But so far, so good.
Okay.
As far as trimmers, same Babyless, but I do like me some Walls.
Okay.
Let me just kind of show you really quickly. These are like the modified.
Okay.
Or not Wall, rather, Andis, excuse me. The modified Andis T outliners. Okay. I'll do some Walls, but usually like the clippers. But definitely I just stick to my Babyless for clippers and trimmers and shavers. But when it comes to trimmers, definitely Andis for sure.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's what I just pretty much stick to. I'm a simple girl. I just like to stick to one or two things, my go-tos, and I call it a day.
Do you customize them at all? You throw any different colors or designs on any of your clippers or trimmers?
No, I haven't. Again, Babyless, they have an option where you can kind of like design it how you want as far as like the different colorways. I haven't gotten to that point. Honestly, I'm good with whatever designs I already have, and then I'm good from there. Like I said, I'm a simple chick.
All right. Simple and sweet. That's it. All right. Sure. Cool. So let's go into your backstory a little bit. Tell us how you got into barbering and wanting to jump into it full time, because I remember, again, we went to barber school back during the pandemic, and I remember you used to come to barber school with the the big old pink suitcase. I hope you still have that with all the supplies. And you obviously got your barber license, and then you went full force from teaching full time to now I'm handing in my papers. I'm done. I'm jumping into this full time. So tell me about your barbering journey.
It's pretty unique. I would say I started, really, I didn't know I was going to be a barber at all. Like, I want to say maybe 10 years ago, if that, I had no interest in cutting hair, doing hair, none of that. It was just simply, I was just a teacher. Like, I was kind of following in my mom's footsteps. Um, sometimes like when you're so like such a devout child to your parent or parents, like you just want to make them happy. You want to pretty much do whatever they say. And my mom, my stepdad, they always just kind of preach to me, have some sort of civil service position, something that's stable, something that has like, the pension and everything like that. So when I got out of college, I thought I was going to be a cardiologist. Then I was like, hold on, how much is medical school and how long I got to be in school for? Nah, I'm good. And my mom was like, you got to find somewhere to work. You know what I mean? You just can't be just doing anything. The student loans were starting to, you know, trying to pop its ugly head out. So I just had to go into teaching. I went through this program called New York City Teaching Fellows. It was a great program. They kind of throw you into into a shark infested pool, so to speak. When it comes to you get your job as a teacher and then you go through the teaching program at the same time. So it's a little strange of a program, but the type of mother that I have who already had an educational background, and I was just raised by a very strict but fair woman. I pretty much, became a teacher and just gelled seamlessly. And that was cool for a while. And I want to say 2016, I was a teacher, starting the program. 2 years as I was a middle school teacher in the South Bronx. I just started to get this itch, like I wasn't fulfilled. And I couldn't really identify what would fill that void. But there were two things that kind of interest me. I'm always on Instagram, Facebook, and just things were popping up, maybe just because of the algorithm. I looked up something, next thing you know, a bunch of things are popping up. I started seeing a lot of barber videos. I started seeing a lot of like DJs and all of that. So I'm like, I'm either going to try to be a DJ or I'm going to try to be a barber as a side hustle. I want to make some extra cash. I was leaning towards like being a female DJ. But when I looked at how much those setups were, I was like, oh, no, I don't have a grand. I looked up what I needed to become a barber, and it was literally a $20 clipper and trimmer set from Kmart at the time. And I was like, I'm gonna go and try to be this barber. Like I said, I saw a lot of videos on, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and I just started just practicing. Fortunately, I have a significant other who was willing to let me use his hairline. And ever since then I've been his barber. So, I just fell in love with it. Something that I knew nothing about became like so much fun, such a passion. And it was almost like a stress reliever at the same time. Some people might go to the boxing gym and, want to, take a few rounds on a bag or spar with somebody. Nah, I want to pick up the clippers and I want to learn how to cut hair. I want to do some trimming. So, that's pretty much how that happened. And the more I loved or fell in love with barbering, the more I fell out of love of teaching. I love the kids, love my colleagues, but the grind of it all was terrible. And anything that I do it 110%. So I was tired of going 110, 120%. I felt like, I did all this work, going through this teaching program, getting the master's degree, everything. And I'm still pulling, my students, still pulling the parents of the students. Like I'm doing all the work. I'm doing all the heavy lifting, and I was tired. Um, when COVID hit, it was kind of like an eye opener for me. Um, I had a lot more time at home, and I had a lot more time to really think and flesh out ideas. And I just was like, I'm going to go full steam ahead. I was in Mount Vernon one day, getting some seafood. This was during the shutdown, and somebody saw me. They liked my sneakers or whatever the case may be. And they were like, oh, I got, some sweatpants or something that would match that. So as they're trying to sell me some merchandise, we get to talking about barbering. And he happened to say, like, he's an instructor at a barber school in Mount Vernon, a few blocks away. He was like, you should check it out. I said, really? The next day, went right to Westchester Barber Academy in Mount Vernon. And I met another instructor there, and him and I totally gelled. We clicked, and he understood the vision. And I just love that it was a black owned barber school, barber shop at together in tandem. And I was just like, I got to do it. If I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it. And I had the time. I was working fully from home as a teacher. So I really just had nothing but time and opportunity. And, the good thing about being an educator, you get your summers off. So they were starting a new cohort in the summer. And I was like, perfect, I can go full time. And we worked it out where once school started and I had to go back go back to teaching full time in the start of September, they were like, okay, you can switch over to the part-time schedule. Worked out perfectly. If ever I had a week off from the school schedule, I was going full time in the barber school. So I was just so dedicated, so motivated, so consistent. And like I said, the more and more I dove deep into barbering, I realized what my calling was. I'm always here to inspire, to teach, to nurture. That's always going to be me. But I don't have to do it, behind the teacher's desk. I can do it behind the clippers. I can do it just speaking to people and meeting people, different people, and learning from them, growing from them, and vice versa. So here I am today.
Awesome, 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 awesome story. When you think about your barbering career, and I guess in the future sense, where do you want it to be in the next 5 to 10, 15 years from now?
That's a really broad and big, bless you, question, because I want to do everything. Okay. Like I want to conquer the freaking world. But essentially with my business, I initially wanted something that was much more intimate. Um, as y'all can see, like I love my hair shaved on the sides, got my nice little mohawk kind of look. This is my signature look. And I used to go into a traditional barbershop to get my hair cut. And my barber, of course, was a man, and he was dope. You know what I mean? But every time I went into that shop, it was all eyes on me. Um, I'm not saying I have Beyonce looks or whatever, but I go in there, I have, very high confidence. I dress well. I think I'm a little cute. I don't know. But it was always eyes on me, and I was getting stares from the men, the women. One time I was sitting down on a bench. I went to bend down. One of the female barbers, who I'm assuming she likes women, in a romantic way. She made a pass at me, and I love that I can probably swing both way. I can snag both men and women. My preference is men, of course, but I just felt very uncomfortable, and I didn't like that feeling. I brushed it off, but that was not a feeling that I liked. And that was not a feeling that I ever wanted to feel again. And very shortly after, the pandemic had happened, and my barber was like, listen, I'm going to be working out from the house. I said, perfect. So I was going to his crib. I just love the fact that like it was me and him, very platonic type of relationship, but we were still so locked in. We could talk about anything up under the sun, and it's just really like you listen and you don't judge type of thing. And I love that feeling. So when things were starting to open back up, I asked my barber at the time, like, yo, are you planning on going back into the shop, or are you going to still cut out your house? He was like, I'm going to still cut out the house. I said, then we locked in for life, because I didn't want to go back to the shop. And like I said, when I like something, I stick to it. So with my barber, I didn't want to go to anybody else. You know what I'm saying? So I was just so happy with that feeling. So fast forward now, I want my clients to feel that same way. Like, I have a lot of female clients, and again, we don't want to be in a barbershop with a bunch of dudes. Maybe some people do, but a lot of us women, we don't. And believe it or not, there's a lot of women that don't want to be, a lot of men rather, that don't want to be in a shop filled with a bunch of people, men or women. So I wanted to create a space that was intimate, that was also safe and nurturing. Same thing that I do in my classrooms when I was a teacher. I wanted an environment that was positive, friendly, and it just felt like home. And I also was already traveling a lot, going to people's houses doing haircuts. Now, the problem with that is you need a lot of time. And each travel appointment was at least 2 hours. So if you think about it, I'm going to have to charge $150, $200 for a house call. I was just starting out. Who's going to pay that? Mm-hmm. So I'm charging really maybe $35 to $50 for a house call, which really is chump change, is nothing. It's worthless, but I needed to put my foot in the door. But again, it was very time consuming. So if you think about it, I can only get through in 6 hours, 3 haircuts if I'm going to different people's houses, making maybe $150 for the day. It just wasn't conducive financially as well. So I was just like, what can I do, or what can I create that still has this intimate vibe, still incorporates the mobility of it all as far as being a mobile barber, but also cut down on time. And this is the inception of Cuts by Yannie mobile suite came about. I literally bought an empty cargo trailer that hitches to the back of my SUV, and I converted it into a full service mobile barbershop. So I have a shampoo station, I have the hair station here, I have a side area where people can sit if they have guests or if they're waiting to get serviced by me. I dry hair, I lock, do lock, retwist. I mean, I pretty much do everything. I even have a small bathroom in here. I have a little utility closet to hold all my supplies. Like literally everything I need is here. And with this mobile unit, I can go anywhere with it. I choose right now, since it's so cold, to really have the mobile shop as a stationary kind of situation. So people travel to me. So again, I can keep my prices low, but still people get the feel of a luxurious experience. And this is something that I always wanted, but I didn't want to have to pay an arm and a leg just to get it. Sometimes these haircut prices are ridiculous. I'm not going to lie to you. When COVID happened, a lot of people used that as an opportunity to take advantage of people and their money. And that's not me. I wasn't built that way. I wasn't raised that way. And I wouldn't want anybody to do me like that. But again, I want people to know that, you don't have to be a billionaire to still enjoy the finer things in life. And self-care is part of that. I mean, Jeff, when you look good, you feel good. The house may be burning down behind you, but you just got a fresh haircut. So everything is all good. Okay. That's the story of my life. All right. Because being an entrepreneur is not easy. I mean, I always have a smile on my face, but Lord, I be wanting to just flip a table, flip chairs, all of that too. But I give myself a little shape up. I give myself a nice little haircut. I'm feeling like I can conquer the world. So, yeah.
What has been the most challenging experience for you with the mobile suite?
So, it's been a few things. The winter. Um, unlike so my mobile suite is literally like pretty much living off the grid kind of thing. I have solar energy. When I first started out, it was initially just solar energy. And I thought that was going to be enough. But then I realized, oh shoot, um, I live in New York and we have 4 seasons. So spring and summertime, sunlight is booming, sun is popping, the solar panels are absorbing all that sunlight. Fall and winter is not as sunny. It's not as sunny as long. Sometimes I've come to the shop, had a full slate of people and was only on like 30%, 40% battery life. Um, I then realized, oh shoot, this is not sustainable. So I had to invest in a generator. And this generator is amazing. But it ran me back $3,500. $3,500 that I didn't expect or anticipate to pay or to spend. um then I had to get a welder to be able to create some sort of contraptment in the back of the mobile shop to be able to hold this 360-pound generator. That was another $500. The labor, the parts was another 100. So we talking about almost a $4,000 unexpected investment. So I just think overall, like, just being an entrepreneur, being a business person, you can think of everything that may go wrong and try to anticipate it. And something that you didn't think was going to happen totally freaking happens, and it messes up everything, or just really causes you as an entrepreneur to kind of divert, pivot, adjust. And sometimes it hits your pockets. You know what I mean? So that's been really difficult. But this is my second winter of having the mobile shop, and I've learned from the first winter. Do I still have some problems? Absolutely. But that first whole year, I didn't have heat. You know what I mean? I didn't have AC because I didn't have enough power. But now I have my generator popping. My heat is on right now. Jeff and I are feeling very toasty in this mobile shop.
Thanks.
Thank God. And then when it gets hot, my people and I, we are gonna feel really cool. You know what I mean? These are things that I did not have for a whole year. It was rough. It was rough. But I got through it, and like I said, I'm in my second winter, going, pretty much through my second year of having the mobile shop, and it's gotten a lot better. Again, there's still things that happen. The winter is still gonna winter, okay? Do my pipes still freeze? Absolutely. Do my tanks, with my fresh water, my gray water, my black tanks, do they freeze? Absolutely. But I just have to work around it. I always have a reserve of a bucket of water because I'm still gonna wash hair. Mm-hmm. I'm still gonna wash my hands. We still gonna use that toilet. Mm-hmm. So nothing changes, but I have to make sure that I do what I can so that my clients don't see or feel like, oh shoot, you ain't your tanks are frozen right now. Yeah, but you don't got to worry about that. Your hair's still gonna get washed. You can still flush the toilet. I just can't release any of the water yet until everything thaws out. But I figure it out. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. So that's just been something that's also been very difficult. And I think just, when you're so invested in something that you love, sometimes you get caught up in that investment and not think about everything else that's happening around. So for example, as my business is blossoming, my personal relationships are starting to dwindle or falter because I'm not investing myself as much into those personal relationships, whether that be, my romantic relationship with my partner of 11 years, whether that be with family. I'm just so like I have this tunnel vision in this focus. Because if I don't do it, who the hell is? So it's really hard to have people that are truly in my support system and they do want me to succeed, but it's hard for them to understand the vision because they are not me. They are total different entities with their own beliefs, their own way of thinking, and sometimes it's not gonna sync up. So it's been very challenging. I'm still trying to figure out a balance to it. I haven't quite found that balance yet. I'll be very, very frank and honest about it. But every day I'm learning, I'm growing, and I just hope to be able to look back one day, a year from now, 2 years from now, hell, 10 years from now, and be like, you did the right thing. You tried. Whatever you did, you tried. Yep. You know what I mean? Good, bad, or indifferent.
Yep. And you brought this idea to life. I mean, you were talking about this in the barber school, that this was something that you wanted to do long term. But as soon as you graduated, you kind of got on this. Like, I remember you was looking up school buses. You was trying to get a whole bus before you even got the mobile shop. So, I mean, to see it actually, you know, for it to come to fruition right now and actually be sitting in something that you dreamed of, I think is it's a crazy concept, but it's so crazy when we think about the way our minds kind of operate and then bringing our ideas to life. Like you essentially are living in your creation. That's awesome. That's a wonderful feeling, and I know
Yeah,
that it comes with a lot. But just to, I think to just to be able to sit and take a moment and be like, yo, like I'm sitting in something that I actually dreamed of. I think is a powerful thing. So good
absolutely.
for you. Good for you.
Thank you.
Um, what has been some of your best moments since you've been in your suite? What has been some of your best moments? Is it, seeing new clients come in, returning clients still come in, people talking about the space? What has been your favorite or your best moments being in your mobile suite?
I remember a time my cousin came by just to like literally just give me my flowers. Like she came with a bottle of wine, she had a bouquet of flowers for me, just really just celebrating this accomplishment, this huge goal of mine. And we were just talking, and she was telling me that she went to, I guess, some sort of esthetician to get a facial or something like that during her lunch break one day. And she was just raving about me to her esthetician. Like, yeah, my cousin, she has this mobile barbershop, blase, blase, blase. Next thing you know, the esthetician was like, are you talking about Yannie? And my cousin was like first she got defensive, like, wait, how you know my cousin? Like she about to take her earrings off, like, yo, we about to squabble up. Like, and she was like, nah, like, the esthetician told my cousin that she didn't know me personally, but some of her clients, they have been serviced by me and they were talking about me. And my cousin was just like, yo, Yanni, literally, your name is being spoken in rooms that you're not even in yet.
Look at that.
I was like, look at God.
That's right.
At the same time, I'm stressing. I'm having panic attacks and stuff, just thinking like, yo, I'm not making it. I'm not progressing. And my cousin is like, you bugging if you really think that. Mm-hmm. Like, this woman does not know me personally, but she knew about me. And all she heard was great things. So I continue to get a lot of that. And it feels good. There are also instances where I have clients that come into my shop and they're broken. You know what I mean? We all have our own trauma and tragedy and trials and tribulations that we're going through, but they come into the shop feeling defeated, so broken. But then when they leave out, or right when they're leaving out, and they look in the mirror and they're like, Yanni, you did this? And I'm like, yeah, I did that. You know what I mean? Not even like trying to toot my own horn, but like, no, I did that. Like, you gave me a certain vision or inspiration picture or something, or you expressed to me what you were looking for, and I was able to deliver on it. And sometimes they leave out in tears, not tears of shame or guilt, but tears of joy. And they're like, yo, I found my barber. Like, you know what I mean? So just hearing those type of things is and experiencing that firsthand has been absolutely amazing. I'm just thrilled to continue to have those positive experiences.
One of the things that I appreciate about you is you don't just you don't just cut in your mobile suite and have cut in different shops before, but you also give back to your community. You're very big on community service and giving back to those that have given you so much. So talk about some of your experiences of giving back to the community through your barber experience.
Yeah, so I'm not really sure where it stemmed from, like as far as like giving back to the community. I guess if I really, really like kind of put my finger on it, I was raised by a single parent, and it wasn't just her that raised me. It literally took a village to raise me. Unfortunately, my biological father um wasn't really able to take care of a child the way he probably wanted to, but just maybe didn't have the capacity to do it. He was a young parent, 18 at the time. My mom was 20, turning 21. They were both pretty young, but I think just naturally the burden of a child and the raising of a child falls on the mother in a lot of cases, if not all cases. So my mom had to call on her family, call on her village, call on her support system, not just family, but her loved ones, like her friends, some of my mom's lifelong friends. Those are my aunties. Those are my godmamas. You know what I mean? Those are my godfathers. Those are my uncles. So, it took everybody to help my mother raise, what I believe is a really great, and formidable woman that I am today. So, with that being said, I wanted to, just like in my classroom, to still inspire, not only just women, but young men as well. Like, if you have a vision, you have a dream, go for it. Like Nike said, just do it. So I just felt so passionate about providing haircuts to at risk, underprivileged youth in my communities, whether it be in the Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan, Staten Island. Again, going back to being a teacher, I use my own students as my test dummies. I did get permission from their parents. All I had to say was free haircut. They said, sold. I'm good. Do your thing, Yannie. Or in that, at the time they called me Welchito or Miss Welch. But they just gave me the opportunity to practice on my own students. And when I saw, again, I didn't even cut that well at the time, but like when I saw how my students' face lit up when they had a fresh haircut, and girls and boys, they just, I don't know, it just filled some void in me. And I was just like, I gotta continue doing this. Like, even though I'm not in the classroom anymore, what can I do to continue doing this? And of course, because I used to be a teacher, I used to work at, a couple of different schools in the Bronx. I've had connections. Fortunately for me, my mother is a principal at a school in the Department of Education in New York City. So she connected me and plugged me in with a lot of other schools in Brooklyn, Manhattan, Queens, the Bronx. And schools have been willing to, give me an opportunity. And I think I have done very well. I used to do these events by myself. I literally now have a team of 6 amazing individuals. Three of them are barbers, and the other 3 are stylists. So now it's more than just haircuts. Like, we're providing like box braids, reed twists, cornrows, silk presses. I mean, literally, like, the schools sponsor these hair services, and 30 to 31 individuals, lucky individuals, from any sort of background, um, they're able to get a free hair service. And not only are the kids so appreciative of it, but the parents are appreciative of it. A lot of times these parents just can't afford to get, their kids basic, but necessary things like a haircut or their hair done. And for the kids themselves, like, just seeing themselves in the mirror, and their face just lights up because they might have had a crappy day, but when they got their hair done, they had a fresh line, whatever the case, they just feel so good. Again, the house may be burning behind them, but in that moment, my hair's done, I'm feeling good. And I just wanted to continue to recreate that feeling. I don't know, maybe it's like a drug for me, I have no idea. Like, it just gives me this rush. And in the team that I have, I think they also share a very similar vision, and they also like that rush. And to sweeten the pot, we all getting paid to do this. And what's crazy about barbering or cosmetology, for a lot of us that are really passionate about it, we will do this shit for free. But it's so cool that we can do something that we love and get paid for it. And that's when you found your calling, you found your passion, whether that be in teaching, being a firefighter, a cop, whatever, a barber, a stylist, whatever. You find something, it doesn't feel like work to you every time you get up in the morning, you stick with it and you go guns a blazing with whatever that is. So yeah, so that's what I always continue to preach. And I'm living a dream right now. I'm living a dream.
What is your favorite haircut to give?
I like to do, um My favorite, I would say, I don't know if it's a favorite, but it's just what I mainly do are like tapers.
Okay.
So like whether it's a skin taper, if I were to pick a specific taper, it would definitely be like a high skin taper. Um, I just love like when it's just you can see the skin, but then the blend is so flawless into the density of the hair. It's just fire. So that's pretty much like a major request of mine. For the women, my women clients, they've been getting real fancy. They've been trying to, match their barber's energy and have the little,
That's what's up.
faux hawk, so to speak. So I love when I'm able to be able to recreate my haircut that I do on myself, on somebody else. And it's an even greater feeling when that person also wants to color their hair red or just kind of be funky with their hair color. Cause they'll let me color their hair too. So those are just, a couple of haircuts, hairstyles that I like to do. Again, they're mainly requested. So whether I like to do it or not, I do it, but I like them though.
What are some of the or who are some of the celebrity clients that you've had or that you've had the opportunity to cut?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So mainly my clients, my celebrity clients, come from the WNBA and the NFL. It's not a whole bunch, but those are great opportunities. Where once upon a time I was like, yo, I want to be a celebrity barber. But as I continued to, get some more celebrity clientele, I was kind of like, ooh, I don't think I want this. But because they're very needy in a sense of like, I need you to come at this time. Okay, this time it's 12 midnight. What? And you're in Brooklyn? What? And I'm in the Bronx and I'm dumbass tired. Okay. I still go because again, I'm not going to leave money on the table either. But um I have been blessed to service Natasha Howard, who at the time she was playing for the New York Liberty in Brooklyn. She is now actually signed with the Indiana Fever. Um, I've also given a haircut to Paris Key from formerly the New York Liberty as well. I believe she's now doing a lot of coaching on the college level. Um, and then I've also been able to service Aaron Ross. I believe he's a two-time Super Bowl champion for the New York Giants. He is retired. He is also the husband to Sonia Riches Ross, who is a multiple Jamaican American Olympic track and field gold medalist. I've also been able to service Justin Lane. He was playing for the New York Giants as well. Right now, he may be a free agent at the time. And then also I've been able to service Nick McLeod, who was also playing for the New York Giants. He may also be a free agent at this time. So yeah, so those are just a few of the people that I've been able to service. They've all been amazing. I still keep in close contact with Natasha Howard. Anytime she comes back to play at Barclays, she hits me up like, yo, Yannie, I'm coming through. I need this haircut. Nobody cut it like you. And I'm like, I'll be there. Again, it might be 8 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night. I do what I do because I love it, and again, I would do it for free. The first time I met Natasha Howard, she was my first celebrity client, and I was so geeked. I went all the way to Brooklyn, dragged my boyfriend with me because I don't like driving places where I don't know where I'm at. I don't care if I have the navigation system. I don't know where I'm at. Where's my man? I need him to come. But she let me do her hair. And she was like, how much is it? Again, she was like, yeah, I need you to come through. She didn't ask no questions about the price, nothing. I said, don't worry about it. This one's on the house. Again, I do this shit because I love it. It's just cool that I can also get paid and pay my bills. You know what I mean? But I was like, nah, you don't owe me anything. I think from that point on, she knew she had a barber for life, because anybody else probably would have hit her over the head, 250, 300, whatever. Now, when she, wanted me to come back, all right, here's the price. You know what I'm saying? But even to this day, when she comes back to New York, even for a day, 2 days, she's like, yo, you gonna come through? Of course. You know what I mean? And she's always been locked in with me. You know, I'm just so grateful for her and everybody else that has given me a chance to service them, famous or not. So I just love what I do, and I'm gonna continue to do what I love.
Is there a celebrity that you've been dying to cut?
Yeah. So it's a couple of people. Pretty much I want to cut anybody from the New York Knicks. I don't give a fuck if it's, I would say Jericho Sims, but he just got traded. Thank God. But I would, don't scratch that out, just in case he see it. But anybody from the New York Knicks. If anybody knows me, I am a huge New York Knicks fan. Don't ask me no stats, no when the last time they won a championship. I think it was in 1974, 75. I don't know, with Will Clyde Frazier. I don't know.
You close.
I don't know, something like that. I'm not one of those people, okay? But just know that I love my Knicks. Like, I love my Knicks, love my Knicks, love my Knicks, and I love my New York Giants. So I go hard for them. So I would love to be able to give anybody from the New York Knicks a haircut. It would be even greater if I would score a contract with the New York Knicks to be their official barber. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Let's get it.
Let's get it. We're gonna make sure we tag New York Knicks.
Right? We're gonna manifest it. But then I also want to give Jay-Z a haircut. He know he need a complete transformation. I'm not saying that his wicks are nasty looking, that his hair looks dirty. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm so used to him when he had the low Caesar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just always fresh. You know what I mean? He never really had too much facial hair, but I'm just like, what is this on his head right now? Like, everybody that comes to my shop, they're like, you know who you need to give a haircut to? And I was like, who, Jay-Z? They said, hell yeah. So, I saw in an interview, he said that he definitely wants to cut his hair, but it's his family, his children, his wife, maybe, that they're like, no, keep it, keep it. And I'm like, why would you want this on your head? Like, it's really looking like a bird's nest. Just saying. Him and J. Cole, love y'all music, but let me get y'all right, please. Please let these hands and my clippers do the work, okay? But yeah, let's say that's it. Anybody would be great.
We're gonna make sure we tag them so they can hear it.
For sure.
That's the so.
For sure.
Here's my last question. We'll get you out of here on this. For any lady, for any woman that wants to get into the barber business, the barber game, what kind of advice would you give to any of them who are looking, to get in, who may feel a little bit of intimidation by getting into a male-dominated industry? What type of tips would you give someone that wants to get into the barber business?
I would say first,
specifically for the ladies.
I wouldn't say it's even that specific for women or men, but I would just say it's worked for me. Whatever idea you have, write it down. If you don't write it down, that shit gonna fly away. I might have had the cure to cancer, but I ain't never write it down. So it's pointless. So whatever you do, whatever you want to do, write it down. And then the next thing I would say to do is whatever you did just write down, read it out loud. Look at the mirror, recite it to yourself in the mirror. Start fleshing out those ideas to see what makes sense. I wouldn't necessarily say take those ideas and speak to other people about, oh, does this make sense? Everybody is different. What makes sense to you may not make sense to the next person. And there's a lot of naysayers out here. So they're going to tell you if they don't agree with it, oh, don't do it. Don't do it. They're going to scare you. Okay. Even if they intentionally do it or unintentionally, you want to make sure that whatever you want to do makes sense to you. That's all that matters. And then After you have read out and fleshed out those ideas, execute it. Just do it. That's what I would simply say. Of course, there's some other nuances, within that. You want to definitely have a support system. I've realized that not everything that I wanted to do or have done, people agreed with it. Again, I was raised to really be a devout child to my mother and my stepfather, and doing what they wanted me to do. And when I wanted to leave teaching, they were like, "What? What? Stop playing. Stop with the shenanigans." And I'm like, "Nah, this is not shenanigans. This is the real deal. Like, I'm leaving. And I'm not asking anybody to get permission to leave. I'm out." You know what I mean? The only person I needed to really tell was my supervisor at the time. And that was more so of a courtesy. You know what I mean? I could just bounce. I'm out. But I had to realize not everybody is going to understand that vision. And again, that's their problem. If I want to do something, I'm going to do it. As long as it makes sense to me and I don't have to ask for anybody's help as far as financially, oh, can you pay this bill? Can you pay? No, no, no. As long as I'm still able to do those things, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want to do. And that's it. So again, you want to have a support system that is going to understand, and be patient. That's something that's also a skill that a lot of people need to learn is patience, including me. I'm always like, I want to get it now, 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 now. I want to have sometimes that instant gratification, but it takes time. Rome wasn't built in a day. And I need to wait. So patience has been a bit of a virtue, so to speak, not only within myself, but also with my support system. So I've had to weed out, a few people that I love dearly or respect, but they weren't either supportive enough in a way that I needed them to be supportive, or they weren't patient enough. And again, I couldn't have all these naysayers. I needed to just focus and have this tunnel vision and just think about, okay, what does Yannie want? Yannie doesn't want that, but I want this. Okay, so I need to figure out how to go get this. So, for anybody, but specifically for women that are entering in a male dominated industry of whatever sorts, just do it. Don't hold back. It's scary as hell. There are times where I want to give up, but I don't give up. I think Jim Jones, the rapper, said one time, something along the lines of, you want to stay consistent and motivated, but when you don't feel motivated, still stay consistent. And at the time I'm like, he just talking to talk. But then I started to live that. And I'm like, yo, there are times where I don't want to get up in the morning and do what I have to do. But I get up in the morning and I do what I have to do. I don't miss days here in the shop. There are a lot of times where I'm experiencing slow days. And I'm like, okay, I can either fold or I can figure out what to do. What do they say? I can't remember the saying. But basically, like, I had to figure it the fuck out. You know what I mean? I mean, I had to stay consistent in some kind of way. But I think I'm a testament to anybody that's like, yo, you have a vision. Look at Yanni. She had a vision. She executed that vision, and it's taken her, to great heights. Do I still want to progress? Am I happy with my businesses now? Absolutely not. But that's me being very self-critical. But that's also me knowing that I'm not satisfied. And I might never, ever be satisfied. But that just means that there's still this passion, this hunger that's growing in me that is just like, yo, you can do more. So here I am. And I give everybody the best of luck in, hoping that they can find something that they're passionate with, and they write those ideas down. They read those ideas out loud, and then they go ahead and just execute the shit, because you don't want to have any regrets. And I don't have any regrets for leaving the DOE. Again, I used to be a teacher. Now I'm a vendor for the New York City Department of Education. I mean, for me, this is real, like, 180 kind of thing. And I'm just loving where I am. Yes, every day is still a struggle, but I love the struggle, and I'm going to continue to do what I can to be as successful, not just for myself, but when I have, when I'm ever blessed to have children, be able to create and set them up for generational wealth so that this is something that I can pass on to them, whether they want to pick up a pair of clippers or not. This is something that can still be passive, as long as the right system is put in place.
Excellent, excellent. What's how can people get in contact with you? If they're looking for a service, they want to come see the mobile suite, they just want to kind of kick it with you, kind of pick up your brain a little bit, get some tips, some advice. How can they get in contact with you?
So essentially, you can just go on Instagram. You can find me at Cuts by Yannie, CUTZBYYANNIE. That's on Instagram. Or if you can scan this QR code. And definitely going to be continuing to work on marketing. Again, that's another thing that I'm trying to think about, what I can do to improve on that, so that I can spread the word a lot more. But also you can just Google me, just type in Cuts by Yannie Mobile Suite. Cuts is CUTZ by Yannie, YANNIE Mobile Suite LLC. Right in Google, I'm the first thing that pops up.
Excellent, excellent. This was perfect, Yanni. I want to thank you for taking out the time and just being able to do the interview with me. Again, I mean, I've known you pretty much since the pandemic, and you've been full steam ahead, all gas, no brakes. And I'm super excited to see what the future holds for you, not just with barbering, but literally all aspects of your life. And I'm thankful for the friendship and the mentorship that you've been able to give me, and really the friendship that we share through barbering, through our conversations. And I can't wait to see what the future holds for you. So thank you again for this time. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
All right, folks. And that's it for It's Time for a Convo podcast. We'll see you on the next episode.